When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie.
You, my beautiful souls, are here. Welcome to Angels Don't Lie. And as you know, with my program and how it's evolved over the years, I've always loved to be one-on-one. I also really love to share my nutritional tips and things that Spirit brings through for our highest and best good. So lately, Spirit, my angels have been talking all about, and actually it's been Archangel Haniel I've been working with. Haniel has come through, and I keep feeling her energy as being so supportive for everything that I have going on in my personal life, as well as in my business life. So I wanted to kind of like reconnect, sit down in like this old kind of pattern. I don't know. Everything is new now, but thank goodness for Zoom so I can see your faces, and then we can have some connection, some personal messages that are meant for you and your healing and your evolution. And today's message was really, it came through loud and clear. Like my husband and I were traveling, and we ended up having to come home early because our oldest daughter is having some issues, some family issues with her husband, and they're actually going to get divorced. And so I was coming from this place of, all right, like you can't teach what you haven't been through, which is clear for me, but showing up as a mom for these adult children is something I can teach. And I love this message my mom told me years and years and years ago, and her friend, which is a neighbor of ours, shared it with my mom, and it stuck with her too, which is little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems.
So true.
Right? It's crazy because like you guys, how many of you are mothers? How many are parents here? I think everybody, right? I can't say everybody.
No, nope. My sisters aren't.
Okay. So
they're awesome aunts.
They're vicariously through you. Yeah, right? Yeah. And so, you don't have to be necessarily a parent to have this kind of like guidance role in people's lives, because, young people need different guidance than older. Like Susan, how you would parent your daughter is going to be completely
funny
different
because
now.
This COVID I didn't think it was going to affect me, but it has, because now my son has to sell his house.
Oh,
He's
wow.
losing his job. He's going to be moving my granddaughters to California. So it's hard.
Yeah. So,
and being a parent, I want the best for him because I know he'll be happy there. Me, not so much.
I know, because you just like got yourself settled in that space of being closer to support him, and wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. So
that's the heartbreak that we have to talk about. So anyways, what was coming up for me, and I don't know, maybe somebody will connect with this, and I just feel like this is our message. It's not just for me, it's for all of us, with how we show up for our family, for our loved ones, as maybe a parent or an aunt or uncle, whatever, is we show up in the space that we know and what we've learned. And so I have not learned how to parent a child who is dealing with infidelity. I have not learned how to do this. This is a new path for me. This is a new place for me to be in. And so what I found was I was shaming myself in how I was showing up. Like it wasn't enough. Like, how could I possibly help her? Her pain is so immense. How can I guide her the best way? And not that I ever wanted to fix, because I've learned my lesson with trying to fix or help somebody heal when they're not ready, but rather, right? Who's there with me, right? Help. But showing her a way and loving her. And, when they're little, when our children or nieces or nephews are younger, it's different, right? Because they're going to come to us with, maybe I'm not doing well in school and I need some support, or maybe they are fooling around with their friends and they're driving, erratically. And so we have to deal with that. Or maybe they're really little and they're like, hey, so-and-so pushed me. And so we kind of insert ourselves into the role of, leading or guiding them. And I listened to this really great talk by Wayne Dyer, and I always know there's no coincidence. I listened to it before this all happened with Lauren, was about allowing your children, you know, or whoever you're with, the space to figure it out. The space to figure it out. And I was like, wow, that's ginormous, because he talked about like helicopter parenting and like hanging over and wanting to make things easier for them, because I mean, it would be really great if we could just fix other people's problems. But what essentially we do is we teach them that pain isn't going to happen. We teach them that maybe suffering isn't going to happen, or hard times aren't going to happen. And life presents itself in such a way that we are meant to go through things, big things, losses, right? COVID, you know, collectively we're going through that. Individually, we're going through other types of losses, loss of job, loss of house, loss of a loved one, loss of pets. We're going through loss of a marriage. We're going through these things that are different, but yet collectively we're all experiencing it, right? So there's not a stopping point. It means that we can't make it better for others, but we can love them through it. We can show up in the space of not shaming ourselves like I did. We can show up in a sense of like doing our you work, which is, you know, it's in my book. It's very clear. It's like, you know, take that salt bath, do some meditation, align yourself with the people who are going to give and serve and light your path, right? They might have another offering for you. It's about opening the door for love to come in and not standing in a place where we're closed off and it can't come. I used to stand in a place when big things happen. And in my first book, I shared this big threes, little threes. I don't know if any of you remember that. But I would stand in a place of embarrassment. Like I was so embarrassed by these events in my life that I was mortified. Like nobody else could understand. And they were going to think less of me, right? They're going to think less of me. You know, I got married young. My husband and I were 20 and he had to go to rehab when we were first married. People are going to think less of me. You know, I'm having a baby. People are going to think less of me. They're going to think I had to get pregnant. Had to get married. They're going to think less of me. That was always where I was, instead of loving myself, instead of nurturing like this being of who I am. So today I wanted to kind of touch on like, how are you showing up and loving yourself during this confusing time, during a time when our planet is, we're erupting, the fear is erupting all around us. Are you grounded? Are you feeling stable? Are you feeling wobbly? And there's no shame in it. And I thought together we could embrace that. We could hear the messages from our loved ones, and we could just hold each other in a sacred space.
Love it.
Does that sound good? Does that sound like?
Yes.
So I wanted to.
I always learn to, with your daughter and my son, I'm trying to control what I can control, you know, helping them. He wants me to drive the moving truck, which I'm more than happy to do, you know, but trying that way and being involved in that way, I feel.
I love maybe the switch up, right? Instead of because our mind tells us if we control, then we're in charge. But if we're open, and this is what I've been doing, practicing over and over, which is a surrender. Another beautiful spiritual teacher taught me this method of before you go to sleep, you turn over what you can no longer carry, the worries, and you're delivering it to God. Like, tonight I'm releasing like this pain my daughter's going through. So basically I'm not sleeping with that enemy of fear, because fear will consume our dreams. It will consume us, so we can't get the work done that we need to get done, right? And that is to return to love every moment that we can. So we can't return to love if we're eating and worrying and shaming and going to bed with that, because what's coming in the middle of the night then is anxiety, it's depression, then we're waking up in more of the same. So we want to manifest, invite in, participate with the holy truth of who we are, our divinity, of what God wants for us, which is love. So we have to be willing to make that offering, that peace offering, which is, this is really heavy. I'm not in charge and I don't like the feeling of this. So I'm going to hand it over. All of this worries, instead of micromanaging and, you know, checking off those boxes of being in charge, Susan, and rather lead me, guide me, show me.
Let go, let God. That's my mantra usually.
Right. I feel like there's space for you, Susan, for big growth here, because you have, and I feel like what your husband is showing me is like, you know, this newness of you accepting that you are meant to make your own decisions and your own choices, and that you've made choices to accommodate other people. And it's time for you to make choices that accommodate your soul's truth.
Okay.
I
always got something to say.
I almost
And
feel
leave it
like
to Andy to be the first
You
one
always have
to.
something-
I feel like it's a permission slip. And I
Maybe,
love this
yeah.
idea of a permission slip of, I give you permission, like you're in school or something, like, girl, you got the permission. You don't have to wait for the, you know, the teacher to give it to you. You've got it, right?
She would just leave. Never mind.
That's why we're friends, you know.
I got married at 18. I was 15. We were in high school, you know. Yes, I would leave. But I
met Andy
graduated
first.
early.
Yeah.
Did you? Nice.
I did, yeah. Because I wanted to get out, to be with him, to get married, to,
Right.
yeah.
Right. To fulfill that mission that you saw, that
Yeah.
vision, that postcard vision.
Have the kids and,
Yes. Yes. I almost feel like you feel abandoned.
yeah, that's good, yeah.
That's a big word, right?
Yeah, that's true. I do. Or I did. I guess I still do.
Well, now you got
Um,
AJ leaving.
True.
And what would it feel like for you to maybe be angry for once instead of like just taking it?
Oh, I could get angry.
No, I know you can get angry, but I almost feel like your anger gets distorted. And like
Yeah, that's probably true. It's not
But-
really that thing that set me off. It's something else.
so
Is that what you
you're
mean?
yeah, and you've learned, because you were in the angel healer training, you've learned really important tools, which are intention. Right? Your intention of like releasing this anger is like you have to be with it. And to be
True.
with it means you have to recognize it. And to be with it, you have to feel it. And if you have to feel it, then you're going to go through it. But once you are through it, you don't have to return to it.
I guess feeling in general, I don't. You know, nope, I'm not going to feel that. I'm going to do this. Nope, not going to be mad because I
Cut
find joy
yourself
in everything. You know, it's like, you know, I just,
So your homework then is to feel it.
oh
Because
boy.
once you, and this is you work. This is just for
Yeah.
you, Susan. And this is where, you know, he's
It's
showing
true
you that.
because I've been, ever since my son told me they were moving, okay, go to sleep with tears, really, not,
Mhm.
you know, anything, but I can't change anything. So
And does
I
that
don't
make
feel
you,
it. I got to deal with it. Deal with it was always my motto.
so if he's leaving, are you alone?
I have Jen, but I don't have my granddaughter. See, my granddaughters right now are, you
Right.
know,
Yeah, well, you moved to
Me-
Florida to be with them.
yeah,
And now they're leaving.
yeah.
And what if you were to move too?
Oh, I said when I moved here, I'm telling you, in my life, I've moved 24 times. I counted it at least. In the two, well, he'll be on 4 years. In the 2 years when I moved here, I had moved like 4 or 5 times. I was just, when I moved here, I was done. But maybe not. I don't know.
Yes,
Well,
and that's
that's
what we've been telling you.
Yeah,
Every-
the kind of the
Never say never, but
the you work is that you sit with your feelings and that you own them and you realize what is your truth. Even though we say never have, never will again,
not again.
God has great plans for us, for, you know, and this isn't about you being on top of your son or your, you know, but it is about like, what is what does that next right move look like for me? What will you have me do, and how will you have me serve?
I did kind of like, okay, God, I am surrendering. Like this, taking my girls, okay, now what? Because I got away from journaling. I got away from a lot of the U work right now for the past few weeks since I found out. I still pray,
Right.
but no journaling, no. I mean, I was telling my sisters too, it's just like, I don't have that oomph yet again.
Right. And so what would that look for, like, for you to get back to that? And because that's self-love, is like you nurturing yourself.
Exactly. Get rid of the shmigo and get back into the U work.
Yes. And then that way you can start to really get to that next right move.
I am very happy that I can meditate, and I do hear Andy talking to me, and that's a big step. And you know, because I used to say, oh, I don't hear him or listen. It's because he wasn't doing what I wanted him to do. He was doing what he was doing. Right. And so now I'm listening. So
yeah, I love that kind of idea for you of, you know, returning to your work, returning to how God is guiding you. And Andy's saying, like, it's clearly about you feeling those feelings. It's about being angry, and it's about creating that new life for yourself, which, you know, some of you've avoided.
New life though in this COVID, that's the hard part. You know, meeting people, groups of people and friends. You can't do it now.
Lots of challenges, right? Not impossible, just challenges. All right, let's move on. Who else has a question or an area they would like to chat about?
Well, I wanted to comment, when you started talking to Susan, I can kind of identify with her, because at this age, you sort of self-monitor your emotions, even though your life is in such a big upheaval, you have such a big change. Sometimes family and other people will look at you and say, what is wrong with you that you're this age and you're totally, you have no idea what's going to happen next, because you base your life around your family. So when that just drops by the wayside, you find yourself in this position where you would never expect that you would be. So people watch you closely, and you kind of self-monitor, you kind of hold back on your emotion. So it's tough. Even if you wanted to express what you really wanted to with family, you kind of self-check, because you always put that in the back of your mind, that it shouldn't be all about you. You've spent your whole life pulling back on that. And so now you're an adult, and you feel like you just want to, it's almost like you're turning into a child again, because you need these emotions to come out.
And this is big stuff. And it's exactly where we were starting with this whole conversation, even about how we show up with our children. And for you, Donna, it's all about how you're showing up for yourself. And the shame that you're giving yourself because you're taking on other people's opinions as if that's the way your life should be shaped, because you don't have it figured out, as they say. But listen, we are constantly getting to choose our identity. And our identity is the small version of ourselves or that pure high version of ourselves. That's the duality of our soul, right? So this duality is you're in this physical being and you're having very physical experiences, which are not always easy or light and bright. And then here's the duality of your soul, the soul self, which is that highest aspect of you. It's the divine essence of who you are, right? So that divinity is endless, you and God together. And the journey through any life, I don't care who you are, is connecting with that divinity and loving it. And so going through the motions and changing and evolving, it's not something that's one and done. It's not something that's one and done. And people around us, they don't like the difference. They question us And so that puts us in a cage, but we allow it. And so here's this cage you're in, and then you feel bad, guilty, shame, whatever that word you want to use, for stepping out of the cage to be different or to change or to try something new, because you'll disappoint people. What? No, the duality of your soul is I'm meant to have these experiences. I'm meant to go through this with my daughter right now. It's perfect. Yucky, it's ugly, but it's also beautiful.
It's like I know who I am, but it's like I deliberately, once I got divorced, I deliberately dropped myself back here in this, this in Alabama, where I grew up as a young girl, back right into the middle of, the family that I have left, my sister, my brother, and the way that they live, which is totally opposite from the way I lived in Connecticut or how I feel who I am. So I'm back into almost their little world. It's like I put myself here. Okay, I'm going back with family. But I told someone just the other day, I said, now I understand why it was so easy for me to leave at 17, because I'm a part of them by blood, but I don't feel like I can be my genuine. I try to be who I am, but it's not taken, it's not, it's hard to explain. They don't accept, they look at me like I'm an alien sometimes, it's just like, it's just not a comfortable.
But you came there for a healing, right? It's not a one and done thing. You came there to remember something about your soul and the experience that you're here to have. And so you came here for a healing, not for anything else. And so again, like we are expecting sometimes that our loved ones, our family, are going to heal as we heal or see us in the light that we want to be seen. But we have to teach them who we are. And when we're not confident, then we're teaching them, your opinion matters more than mine. What you say matters more than what I say. And we give our power away, little pieces at a time. And you're a woman who came out of a really broken marriage, a really painful experience, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so that alone is like, we need restructuring how you believe in yourself, restructuring what love looks like for you. And so you just wanted to feel some semblance of love. And I think that's why you went home. Some semblance of love. Well, now you're seeing it's not a match for your soul, but it's okay. And they don't have to agree or even look at you with respect. You do. They're teaching you, you do, you do, you do. How you believe in you matters. Over and over, like that's the big message. They keep saying like, it's about the self-love. And I feel like this group together, this is what we're all about today, is about the yumminess of self-love. And what does that look like? It's a big kind of concept. How many people think they self-love? I mean, I know a lot of us say, yes, I do, I self-love. But if you have the tiniest bit of shame in there and you're worried about the outside world, or you're denying your light, or you feel that you don't have a choice, then you're not allowing yourself to stand in your divinity. Creating your new identity happens from that space within. It doesn't happen from the outside world of anyone else telling us who we are or what we should be doing. That comes from within. That comes from doing that you work, of being in our heart center and embraced in love. And loud and clear, that's what my angels keep guiding me, the same thing, right? So we move in our soul alignment. The more work we do, like Donna, you're a different woman than you were when I first met you, right? So you've been doing this work, so you evolved. And so now your low point is going to be not as low as it used to be. And your recovery rate from that fear tone is going to happen much more quickly now that you have some tools to work with. sometimes we stay and we wade in those waters of pain and sorrow because it's familiar, because we've learned it's a past thing, and we don't really adjust to change well. Let's just face it, as humans. Like, and then we have the structure of COVID, and we have finances, and we have, you know, worry, and we have blocks, right? Can you identify what your blocks are? Let me ask you that today. Can anybody identify with what their block is? And a block would be like, I don't have enough money. I don't have a job. What is that one thing that's your stopping point? It's outside of you, right?
Probably finances is the big one.
Good, perfect.
My oven just went. My car needs a new engine.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that. I'm on
Yeah.
a fixed income. So I
Okay,
guess it would be money.
perfect. So fixed income and things are broken, and how am I going to do this? Good. Anybody else?
See, I don't have that. It's more confidence in myself. That's my block.
Who said that, Donna?
That was me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Thank you. So Myra, it's more confidence in yourself?
Yeah,
So
that's
self-
really mine, because I mean, I don't have the finance issue or the job issue or any of that. So
But it's more like feeling, and I want to go on that confidence just a little bit more. Can we go a little deeper with it?
just, you know, feeling that I am everything that I could be, you know, like I just don't seem to have enough confidence to like push through and say, yes, I can do these things, or yes, I am this way.
And what are the things that you would like to do? What are the things? Can you label them?
Just being more assertive with my needs and my wants and stuff like that.
Are you talking about in a relationship?
Mostly, yes.
Yeah. Right. The value of which you love yourself is what you teach others to do, right? So what if there was not an action that you needed to take outside of self-care? What if the action was to really love taking a bath or going for a walk and really absorbing it and being like, this is going to serve me? What if it was that simple? And that the qualities that you see in others that maybe are assertive are just because they've spent time going for that nature hike and self-loving, that it's not outside of you, it's within you. Does that feel believable?
Yes. Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. I keep getting like daily readings, like daily Bible quotes, like daily reading for you. Like, I just feel like you need like a daily reminder to be in the light. So Joyce Meyer, she's beautiful. She has a couple books out, you know, like just that give you that daily kind of stand in the light.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Louise Hay girl. So
I like that too. I just feel
I
like
love her.
for some reason they're showing me biblical stuff is really important for you. So try that out and see what that feels like for you. It's not about religion. It really just is about self-nurture and love.
Okay, yeah,
See
and
yourself.
I do really like my angel cards too. So
And I love that too. So a morning practice of like a devotional is very important for you. And
maybe you can explain the coffee thing. I was telling my sisters a couple weeks ago, I woke up to this such a strong scent of coffee. And I thought it was my husband. I thought he had gotten up and made coffee, but I rolled over and he's right next to me. And that's all I could just smell.
And it woke her up.
It woke me up.
And so usually when spirit is bringing a smell, it's a reminder of a loved one visiting us. So, you know, your mom is really strong around you, but also your dad is like standing front and center, which is really, I think, important. So I think that's the connection that needs the most healing for you.
That's very true.
And so that's who shows up for you. And I also feel like that's why they're showing me like the journey through the Bible, like the quotes and stuff will be very healing for you. And it's just a reminder of love. And you know, these generational wounds are very painful, but you don't have to carry them. So that worry is just, it hangs on you.
It does.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of like a worry box where you just like,
And the little worry dolls and stuff.
yes, it's like simplistic, but it's almost like if you just create like a little, if you just write it out and then you can burn it, something where you have a sacred ceremony to release whatever it is that you're holding, because the body knows. And what happens with our body when we hold all this worries, we get pain, we get physical pain. You get things like fibromyalgia, we get autoimmune, we get really off.
Mary Kay, I'm looking at you. Sorry, I just threw her under the bus.
That's okay.
Oh, what are sisters for, really? You know?
Yeah, right.
Mary Kay suffers pain and fibromyalgia, that's why.
And Mary Kay, I'm doing this, my girlfriend is doing, it's called the Little Black Dress Challenge. She an exercise instructor, and she's amazing. She's like 60, 61, whatever she is, and she doesn't look it. She's absolutely incredible. Anyways, she does this Little Black Dress Challenge, and inside this Little Black Dress Challenge, I'm offering nutritional tips and stuff. So one of the things that I have offered this group is about hydration. And what I've learned from my own body about hydration is the more we are hydrated to the right level, the less, you know, it starts to change that inflammation. It starts to change it around, especially for people that have fibro and are very energy sensitive. So, so the recommendation is, it's changed my life. The recommendation is you take your weight and you divide it by 2. And that's your amount of hydration. So, you know, you weigh, 120, you're going to be 60 ounces. So whatever that looks like for you, that's the amount of water you need to intake. And so it's clean, purified water. So if you live in a place where there's chlorinated water and stuff, buy filter.
Well, right now I get my neighbor's well water, and it's delicious to drink.
Yeah. So, the first thing, you drink about 20 ounces before you do anything in your day. So you get up, you go to the sink, you fill up your I got a big ball jar. It's 24 ounces. And I stand at the sink until that's gone. And then I fill it up halfway again. And I take that a little bit more in until I get my fill line. In the beginning, you will go to the bathroom, you'll urinate more. And that's people like, I can't drink that much water. I'm going to be in the bathroom all day. But what happens after a few days of doing this is you don't go to the bathroom. It starts to, your body's like, oh, she's hydrating me. Oh, wonderful. And so it starts to absorb into your muscles and your joints, and you flush out the toxins, which are the little inflamed areas that cause the pain. That cause the pain. And so, wow, that's immediate. It's like immediate turnover. That's one of the biggest things you can do for yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying. Even this morning, I got up and had 8 ounces with some lemon in it. My sister taught me even warm lemon juice in the morning. Start with that. And
Not this sister, that one.
yeah,
I get coffee.
Well, so yeah, here's the thing about water. Plain water, and once you get your first 20 ounces in is great. Then you can add your warm lemon water. You can do whatever you want. Your body knows the difference between coffee, tea, lemonade. So if you're like, oh, I drink plenty during the day, and you're adding something to it, you're not.
No, I drink a lot of water. Yes, I try not to. I have my 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and I try not to drink it. But I do drink a lot of water. Look, I even got a gallon jug with me here just to
Good
fill
girl.
up my glass, but
Good girl.
not enough. I know it's not enough.
So do that for yourself, and just, try it out for a couple of weeks. In 2 weeks, you're going to notice a changeover. Yeah, and I feel like, Mary Kate, you're very sensitive. You're a sensitive soul. You take everything to your gut, everything to your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
You're the sensitive stomach girl.
Oh yeah, all my whole life.
Yeah, that's just
Like our mother.
yeah. So, be gentle on your emotions. Allow yourself to have the feelings and allow yourself to put them away. You don't have to hold other people's feelings, but you do. Owie. Yeah. Anybody else?
Hi. I'm just looking at this point for some guidance. I feel very lost. I just came on 1 year of losing my husband. And it's just a whole bag of emotions. In this past year as well, I've lost my job due to COVID that I had for 17 years. So I'm just, it's like I know what I want to do for my future, but I know I'm not ready for that yet. And I don't quite know how to get there.
So let's talk about what it is that you want to do.
Well, my husband died from an overdose and struggled for many years with addiction. So I just feel deep inside of me that that's what I need to be doing, is working in that field in some aspect, as to try to help people with that problem. I'm still in therapy, and she recently said to me that she's like, you have been trying to save him for the last 12 years you were together. She's like, if you really think about it. And I never really looked at it that way, but now since that, like she said that, I have looked back at that, and it's almost like I don't, this doesn't sound right, but I don't have anything to worry about anymore. I don't have any, it's just such a different, like people say, well, you know, that life was awful to live, watching that and going through that. But at the same time, not having anything in my life is just boring.
And almost more painful, because at least you felt a worth, right? Of,
Right.
Oh, I can help, I can serve, I can help. And it's funny, we were talking about identity. We get to choose the identity in which we live, right?
Right.
And we give our power away. You're very used to it, and it's becomes a habit of turning over our power to a negative aspect of some sort, right? So you taught him that I'm going to fix you, and so he depended on you to
Right.
be there and to hold that space. And now he says, I'm going to be here for you, but in a really beautiful healing, like, he's not an addict anymore, just so you know. Like, he's like, I feel like that he's like, just please tell her I'm not an addict anymore. Tell her that I actually have been healed. Like, everything that she did help me and did support me. And, this past year has been really, really hard. He's acknowledging how hard it's been. And he claims that responsibility. And unfortunately, you're going to have to go through the rest of your life in a space of contemplating whether or not you did enough. And he said, I want you to know you have done more than enough, more than your share, more than what was asked of you. So in this new space, he said, and I feel like you needed a timeout from your job. So even though the job isn't there, I just feel like you needed a little bit more time to be, so you could really fall back in love with yourself, because that is the missing component for you.
And I'm just like, I miss him so much, but I've realized recently too that I know he's never coming back, and I'm always going to love him, but I'm missing that love feeling, that someone else,
Yeah.
A companion.
So embracing this idea, like, you're meant to have love, right? But before love can come to you, you must love yourself so that you do not attract the same type of energy again. Like, well, we attract what we vibrate at. So we all have a vibrational rate. Our energy is what we put out into the world, and what the world then responds to us at. And the universe provides. God will be like, I will pour whatever you need. If you are loving and not shaming yourself, if you are in this vibration of like receiving mode, it's going to come. But you happen to be in a vibration of lack mode, of like, nothing's going to work out. Everything is really hard. I have to try really hard. I can't. I keep hearing that. I can't. He's like, tell her, yes, you can. Look at what you've done. Yes, you can. He said, you have to be the yes, I can girl. Yes, I will. He said, and she said, he's telling me, you're feisty. He said, you're feisty. You're a fighter. He said, when she wants something to get done, it's done.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? My husband obviously died suddenly of a heart attack. But everybody said it gets easier, and I couldn't see it, wouldn't allow it, and it really does. And just take this time for yourself and grieve, and really let it go as much as you do it. Don't, do what you need to do.
And
Yeah.
even though like the loss of job in this, this space that you're in, if you could find, and I just stay with me and don't get mad at me. If you could find gratitude for the time that you get to be home and quiet, and you can find the grace to be with yourself, I think what you're going to find is a peace that you need to get, and that clarity will come up for you effortlessly. I think it will automatically start to blossom. It can't blossom. Our clarity can't blossom when we're busy and we're chaotic and we're all over the place. And girl, you can be all over the place. You can Zoom. You can be like zoom, 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 zoom,
Oh yes.
and busy yourself. So, this isn't about you being on social media. He says this isn't about you like, getting lost in the videos. It's really about you finding the vibrational rate that you want to live in, and then matching it, like bringing yourself to be a match. Have you ever listened to Abraham Hicks or Wayne Dyer on audio?
No.
Both would be incredible. Like, stop dabbling and wasting your time in other people's lives. Like, start listening to high vibrational teachers, and I promise you, like, things are just going to start to make sense, because you have all of this energy in you to be of service, to really help. And I just feel like you're blocking it because you're just playing small and just feeling bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recently, well, I shouldn't say recent, well, probably 6 months or so ago, heard from someone in his past, in my husband's past, that I knew of but never really knew. And he sent a very nice letter to me. He had just learned of Chris's death, and I just dismissed it. I didn't even acknowledge. I just, threw it in the garbage. And then a couple months later, he sent me a friend request on Facebook. And I let that sit there for a few weeks. Again, kind of like, why are you, you know, wanting to be my friend? And then one day, I don't know, I was on there and another friend request popped up. So I was looking at friend requests and I thought, oh, what the heck? So I just went through and like accepted all of them. And then a couple days later, he sends a message. And I mean, he you know, completely, he's like, I want you to know, hearing of your husband's passing has really hit me and set me on a path of sobriety. I've been sober 30 months now, and you know, I would love to talk with you and, you know, see how you're doing. And so I did. I finally like opened up and started talking to him, and it was great. Like, I actually felt human again for a little bit. But then I just was like overcome with all of these feelings, like, and I know this may sound crazy, but I felt like talking to him, that I was cheating on Chris. And I know he's not even alive, but I don't know, it was just such a, but at the same time, it felt so nice to have someone text me and ask how my day was, or, you know, just the small talk kind of conversation. And that's like, I'm very still confused in that whole thing. Like, that's still going on. Like, he still will send, you know, requests to chat or whatever. And I've kind of slowed down because that's like, I was getting too, I think, emotionally involved with it. Like, it felt good, you know?
When I was talking about vibrational rate, it means like your energy, what you put out into the world is going to return to you. So it's at the level in which you put it out. And so you're in a very vulnerable space where you're still healing, right? You're still feeling unworthy. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And so, and I don't think the pause for you is necessarily, you know, and angels will come in and give us a pause. I don't think it's about you having to feel guilty for talking to someone. I feel more the pause is raise your vibration and you will attract the energy in which is a match for you. Because I would not like to see you end up in a situation where you're fixing someone again. Rather,
And that's what I keep telling myself, that
I
I
think
don't
that's what the angels
want
are
that.
showing you. I feel like that's just the pause. It's just when we get involved with that pause and we start to try to make sense out of it, we try to label it like you're putting your label is going onto guilt. Like you're cheating on your husband. That's a guilt thing. So that automatically gives you a stopping point, rather than to say, I love myself enough to know this feels really good and I would like more of it, but I would like more of it on the vibration in which I want to be at.
Right.
I would like this to be on a vibration of wealth. And if you think about attracting a soulmate, let's not even say soulmate because that can be messy. Let's talk about attracting you know, whether it's a friend or a love interest into our life. You know, we can create a list of characteristics that we want to see. And then we have to become the match for those things. So like Susan can do this, you know, and it's been very difficult for her. Susan, correct? Like thinking about dating has been like, I've been toying with this idea with her for so long. Andy keeps giving her permission and she keeps saying no. And he keeps saying go.
Yeah.
But then you have this like, and I'm not there. Like I'm only speaking from what the angels show me. So I don't know your pain and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you have to experience it. But I know what I know. I know the angels show me like pure love, like the relationships that are meant for you, whether it's romantic or friends, you can attract them and you can really build them out. So create that list of like the qualities and the things that you're going to need And then just offer that up. It's like, God, I want this or better. This or better. Like, there's no limit then. But at least you get these qualities of, you know, purity.
Okay.
I really feel like, you know, you saying you want to help people with their addiction is like the viewfinder why they brought him into your life. So you can clearly, like, I feel like you have a discernment already and you're just not acknowledging it. You know the level of his vibration. You know where he's at. You know he's at a tricky spot. You know that he's saying where he is, but you know that it's not necessarily the real thing.
Right.
Your body can't lie. Your body can't lie.
And it like, I don't want to put my heart
Right.
through that again.
So that goes on your list. That goes
And
on
then-
your list.
But then on hindsight, it makes me feel like a bad person that I don't want to,
And there's your shame. And there's
you
your
know,
internal shame. There's where you're lowering your vibration, right? But God wants everything that is right and good for you. He wants you to have the purest, most uneventful experience. Like, he wants you to have that joy. But what you've been taught is, I must feel guilty if I want something more. I must be a bad person. No. No. Can we all get a no?
No.
Hell no.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just circle around. I feel like we did a lot today. Do you guys feel really good? I mean, it's been really beautiful.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
touched on the big number, which was sitting with me, and I wanted to get across, which is shame. And I wanted to share with you how I had been shaming myself because I keep it real. Like, I'm human. I don't go through life in my pure self all the time. So, but it's my recovery rate. Like, how quickly am I to recover from that shame and get back into the vibration of love, into the vibration of attracting and giving and sharing what God wants me to share. And so that stuff is done through my You work, which you can all do, right? You all have been following me, have read my books and know, right? Get in that salt bath, wash it down the drain, call in your angels for purification, create the list of what you want to attract into your life and what you're willing to do in order to show up. You know, God, I'm willing to show up, and here's what I'm going to need in exchange for that. Right? So those are really easy, simple things that you can do. They are not out of your reach. They are not out of your reach. They're not out of my reach. I have this beautiful mastermind group that I actually started, which is so funny that I started a mastermind. That's a whole nother thing. But the women that are in it are all spiritual leaders. They're just sharing their light, and I showed up really messy with them. Like, I showed up and I just like laid it on the line, and I just said all of the stuff I had been carrying, and it was because I needed to receive. And it was so beautiful because it gave them an opportunity to share their light. And it gave me an opportunity to let my guard down and to receive. So just know, when you're vulnerable, or when somebody else is vulnerable with you, it's a gift. It's a gift. So you each have had that experience with each other today, right? You've gifted your time and energy and your love to each other. And that's what God asks of each and every one of us. Thank you all for joining, and I hope the messages.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you Saturday for meditation.
Yes,
Okay.
Saturday meditation.
So excited. Yes.
And you know what you know, because come on.
I know what I know. Because angels
don't
lie.
All
lie.
right.
Everybody say
Thank
it.
you,
Ready?
Jeannie.
Right.
Let's
It's
all
for
say it
angels, don't
together.
lie.
Ready? I'll
Okay.
go 1, 2, 3. Angels
Angels
don't
don't
lie.
lie.
Awesome. Thank you.
Angels
Thank
don't
you.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless.
you.
Thank you.